When you have to shoot, shoot, don't talk.
All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another episode of the Trap House Podcast. My name's Justin Jett. And today's special guest, we have Bryan Flowers of Fur Life TV. He's out of Pennsylvania and does a lot of trapping along the East Coast and up in Maine. So, exciting stuff. You know, he's seen a lot of very cool terrain and stuff that I'm not used to. So, it's kind of cool just to talk to him and pick his brain. But before we get into that, we got to give it up for the sponsors, of course, to keep this show going. J3 Outdoors, maker of the Hags Bracket. Check out their website. It's j3o.com. We also have Top Lot Stretcher Company. Check out their website. That's toplotstretcherco.com. They have awesome adjustable stretchers. Highly recommend them, especially right now. Guys are pitting up fur and getting ready, for the end of the season and pitting up their catch. So check out their website. Then, of course, Hoosier Trapper Supply. Can't forget it. Log on to our website. We got everything you need to get you going or keep you going. Everything from kits to get started or Top Dog Predator Bait or Leatherwood Creek Trapping Scent. The whole line of stuff that Charlie has made there available. And, check that out, HoosierTrapperSupply.com. So, all right, let's jump into it. And thanks for listening. All right, we're here for another episode. We're actually downtown Indianapolis with Bryan Flowers is in town for the Boat Sport and Travel Show, so we decided to hop in the truck and do a little podcast. Bryan, you want to give a little background of how you became a trapper, how you got started, and what you're doing now these days with
Sure.
Being on YouTube and all that?
Well, good morning, guys. It's nice to see you guys again. I actually got started from my uncle. He was originally from Pittsburgh. They were water trappers, and I just going out with him and stuff like that, and just got me into it. And in 1974, I started trapping on my own. 1976, I caught my first red fox and been hooked ever since.
So, are you from the Pittsburgh area then?
I'm from I'm from Bucks County,
which is
it's a small town about 40 miles south of Philly, or north of Philly. I'm sorry.
Okay. So you're clear on the eastern side.
Yes,
okay.
I am in east. Yeah.
Okay.
And,
okay.
Yeah, born and raised in Kittnersville, Pennsylvania, small town in Bucks County, and then moved to Bradford County, Pennsylvania, right on the New York border.
Okay.
The northern tier.
Okay. So your dad didn't trap.
He did, but he worked a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm more or less with my uncle.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
And then back then, we didn't have, a lot of seminars and, different places different avenues, because back then that was the fur boom. All the old timers were tight-lipped.
Yeah.
Because you were a competition, and that's back when you could get $80 for a red fox.
Yeah. I remember those days.
They were a lot tougher for a young guy trying to try to make it.
If you went to some of the trapper conventions, they would do demos or whatever, but
they wouldn't give you.
It's
all
still like now,
Now they open up like a $3 suitcase.
Right.
They'll give you because they want you to do well.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was thinking of driving up here, Pennsylvania. People come by and they'll say, all right, so trapping, it's a thing of the past or it's a dying art or whatever, and it's really not. I mean, I think we're out of the loop in the minds of people that are non-trappers, but, I mean, Pennsylvania has a lot of trappers.
They do.
What is it, close to like 50,000 licensed trappers? I heard that.
You guys have a fur license, though, which counts coon hunters,
yeah,
right?
Fur taker, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a fur taker's license, which is over and above the hunting license.
Right. I mean, Indiana, we've got pretty consistently in this kind of market, like 4,000 licensed trappers, but you guys are in the tens of thousands, so everybody traps, and the tradition of trapping is a big thing in Pennsylvania. And So presently, are you still water trapping mostly, or land
Yeah,
trapping?
so I do. I have a guides business in the state of Maine. Mm-hmm. So I spend a few months up there, and what got me into that area is I did damage control for the paper company.
In
So I
Maine?
go and eradicate all the beaver to the area they're going to cut the following spring.
Okay.
So I mean, and so I just I try to go all over,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as much as I can. You know, Ohio,
Mm-hmm.
you know, New York, which I'm right next to, Maine, North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fun.
Yeah.
I just like seeing different areas and the way, you know, different people do different things.
Right.
You know.
I mean, that we can certainly relate to that, because that's kind of our thing. Is we just like to go to new geography, new state,
Yep.
new, you know, whatever, and like the challenge of it, and
Yeah.
you know, trying to figure it out or whatever. So.
Well, that's my TV show also. You know, For Life TV, and that's what we do. We actually just go and talk to different trappers, try to set up a week, and go out there and trap with them. And it's just a blast.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
just having fun,
Yeah, yeah.
chasing them 30-cent coons.
Whatever makes you happy.
That's
Yeah.
it. If you're in it for the money, don't
Yeah.
don't do it.
Yeah, it's like, well, I mean, you know, I say it all the time. It's like, well, what's
It's in our blood.
Yeah, exactly.
know.
Can't get it out of our system. Been doing it for, in my case, 40-some years, and 48 years, I think, at this point, and can't get it out of my system. And it's still, it pays better than deer hunting.
You can, because there's different avenues.
Yeah.
You know, there's different avenues you can do. You know, they have a live market in the south,
Yeah, yeah,
so they pay pretty decent for a coyote,
yeah.
with, you know, with minimal foot damage.
Right,
You
right.
know. I tell young guys that are getting into it, it's just Christmas every morning. You go check your traps.
That's
you know?
the whole perspective.
That's just what it is. It's exciting.
So you still have a lot of red foxes in your area.
Actually, southwest Pennsylvania, more like Lancaster County, heading towards closer to Maryland.
Okay.
They have, it's like the last stronghold of the red fox in Pennsylvania.
Okay, okay.
You know, western Pennsylvania, you're going to get more into a pocket of grays,
Okay.
but the red fox seem like they're closer to Maryland and Delaware.
Okay.
Than to Pennsylvania.
Since you brought up gray foxes, have you seen a decline in gray foxes in Pennsylvania?
I you know what? At my home in Bradford County, I probably catch 50-50.
Okay.
You know,
I mean, here,
but we're in a wooded area.
Okay.
You know, and I'm rural.
here in Indiana, we've basically don't have them anymore. When I was a kid, it was in some areas we're close to 50-50, and
I
now we
have,
just don't have them.
yep. I have friends in Ohio say the same thing.
Yeah.
They lost the grays.
There's I think it's already underway. I think it started in January, but there's a fairly extensive study in not only Indiana, but a couple other states. They're trying to figure out kind of what happened to them, whether or not it's coyotes or some other factor or a number of factors, or just the nature, just like a natural cycle of things. So, you know, they just want to kind of put their finger on it. And the coyote thing, like if we go to Arkansas, we catch a lot of gray foxes and we catch a lot of coyotes. So, I mean, they seem to have figured out how to stay away from each other,
Yeah.
or you know, so.
Oh, even Texas.
Yeah.
You know, Texas has a good number of grays.
Yeah. New Mexico, too. So,
And you would think in the north, the gray fox would do better with the coyotes because they can climb a tree.
right.
You know, they are a little more snotty when you get to them, you know, as far as disposition, you know.
They are,
They would
yeah.
hold their own more so than a red.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
more passive.
They
Yeah.
usually have a little bit of an attitude.
Yeah.
You show up.
You're kind of the bandy rooster of the fox world. You
Yeah.
know?
Yep.
The cat fox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, how old were you then when you started
Maybe
trapping?
74. I was 12.
Okay.
12 years old.
Okay.
I mean, I've been going probably since I was 9 or 10.
Okay.
But when I started on my own,
Okay.
you know, because back then we used a number 2 square jaw, Victor.
Which
That was, which is a great muskrat and mink trap now.
exactly.
You know?
That's my favorite muskrat trap.
I remember because back, I was still in high school. I was 78, 79. I bought my first dozen Montgomery dogless
Yep.
because they were for some reason they were cheaper than the Victors, so that's why I bought them. And I've been liking a dogless trap ever since.
So what are you using present day then? In
I'm
the
using a
dogless
Wolf
range?
Creek.
Okay.
Wolf Creek. Yep. Yep. The Wolf Creek Eliminator #2. He makes it a #3. And for fox area and stuff like that, we'll use the 1.5, which is a doggone trap, but it'll still hold a fox or a coyote.
Now, are you? That's interesting because I remember going to the Fur Taker National Convention, which was in northern Indiana, and that would have been in 70. I'm trying to remember 75, 76, something like that. And Montgomery was there. And he was just selling traps out of like a pickup truck, like a tailgater. He was.
We
just
all started
up and coming.
somewhere.
Exactly. And I remember it would have been like 86 or so, going to his factory in Pennsylvania with another guy, and of course it was a big factory. I mean, I don't know if he needed that much space, but he had a big place. But of course he didn't survive the crash of the fur boom, in the late 80s either, but
Nope.
But yeah, that was a good trap, and that people still look out for that trap. When they see it on the
I still have a
tailgater
few
zone.
of the very first dozen.
Yeah,
I still
yeah.
have a few left.
Yeah. Going back to that #2 square jaw Victor, which to me, I mean, that's just if you catch a coyote in it, it's disassembled. I mean, they just pop.
Sometimes, you can't find a jaw.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't, not being old enough to remember those days. When people tell me that was a canine trap, I just can't even believe it.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, how in the world?
The 1 3/4 wasn't even alive yet.
Yeah, and then the 1.5 kind of caught on with the old pinch pan.
Yeah,
and then that was kind of
I still love that trap.
Yeah, that is
I buy every one I can
pinch pan?
find. The pinch pan, 1.5 Victor pinch pan.
it was kind of the original posse trip in a way.
Yep.
You know what?
Exactly.
But and then that kind of became the standard. So, but somebody we had posted on Facebook. We were out muskrat trapping and we were using those #2 square jaws, and somebody says, "You guys and those big traps and the overkill and just carrying on." It's like, no, you don't. You're not getting it because it's not. It's big, but it's not very strong. It's gets them up high. There's a lot
It's
of
a
weight
body
there.
gripper, actually, for a small, swimming mink.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great trap, and it's not overkill at all. So
Send him a picture, and he didn't say anything.
yeah,
It's like I think we had that one buried on both the front and the back, all the way up the hip, and nothing was damaged. It was like the perfect catch. It wasn't going anywhere.
yeah, doesn't catch them down low.
And that's what you want. You want to
Yeah.
dispatch the animal as humanely as you can.
Right.
So
Right.
especially water trapping. Whatever you're doing, the water's gonna take care of them.
Right.
So,
Right, exactly. So on your going back to your fox trapping, so are you pretty much a dirt hole guy or
I'm a legged step down dirt hole.
okay.
That's the primarily, you're actually my trap is at an angle.
Okay.
And back in water, we had water 2 years ago. I would have never caught half as the fox I did, having it just a regular dirt hole flat.
Mm-hmm.
But my trap is at an angle going down into the hole, so I was catching them.
Okay. You
'Cause
mean
even when you had lure and bait in the hole and there's water in it, you could still see the film
right,
from what you had in the hole
Right.
on top. So it's still, still got them to your set.
right. Yeah, once they're you want to explain the idea of a step down? I mean, the advantages of it, or
Basically it's just they're stepping, they're going down at a contour. So basically they have all their weight forward. There's no way even if you don't set it just right and you got a little wobble in the trap, it's too late.
right, but they're
already committed.
Right.
You know,
Right.
they can't lift their leg fast enough
Right.
with all their weight.
Now, how does that? Do you do that on coyotes as well, then, or are you?
And in some areas, and unfortunately in the areas that our fox areas, we are catching a couple coyotes now. So
Okay.
it's just a matter of time. And poor things take over that areas too.
I mean, put up the barrier, see if you can get it.
There's nothing you can do about it.
There's
Am I?
nothing you can do about it. I remember when they showed up here in Indiana. It was in the 80s. The early 80s. It was a really big deal if somebody caught a coyote, and of course they'd be all excited about it. But no one knew what the repercussions of that were, or was going to be. And then by the end of the 80s, we had all these coyotes, and our fox population just nosedived. Our red fox population, and our grays did too. But but primarily the reds are just. We just don't have them like we used to.
No.
And the ones that we do have are all living up around town, up under somebody's mini barn or
Yep.
whatever. So, but
Yeah, the safest area for them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Unfortunately, the coyotes have taken over because when I 88, 89, I moved to Bradford County, Pennsylvania, and I mean, you'd be out spotlighting and you maybe see one coyote all season.
Yeah.
I mean, they weren't even there yet. Now you can't go anywhere without seeing one.
Got him. Yeah. So did you learn? You learn? You said Ron Leggett. Did you learn it then from him on a demo, or did you watch?
Yeah.
it?
Yep. That and him and Pete, his dad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
He's still doing seminars. He was at the Nationals this past year.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, it's still great to see him still going.
We I helped instruct at the Trappers College, and he was there. I started, and I think I was there 2 or 3 years, and then he retired from the Trappers College. Didn't he? Was kind of you know, an icon of that. He'd been there for, you know, for forever. But I was sorry to see him leave because he was a pretty important part of that. You know, but that was his.
He's got a good line of lures too.
Yeah, yeah,
We had
Which
Ron
majority of them are.
yeah,
You know.
yeah. Anybody that kind of is in the lure business that's been around a while or whatever, it's pretty legit. Otherwise, you know, they're not going to last or you know, hold up or whatever. So, but do you make lure?
I make some, not commercially.
Okay,
Just stuff I use.
for own
Yep.
use. Yeah, yeah.
Yep. It's not like you know, the fur boom guys are gone.
Yeah.
You know, the true blue guys are still around. There's a reason why they're still around.
Yeah.
You know, because back when I was getting back to when I was a kid, there was three lures you could get. You know, Hall Bakers, and Hall Bakers. You know what I mean? That was the only commercial lures on the market.
Yeah. 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 I mean, you kind of had to.
There were some other ones, but it was not as well known. And
right, you had to seek them out, and they'd have a little like a trifold pamphlet, and you know,
and that was before I even started going to the conventions. You know?
Yeah. Well, Pennsylvania is a very strong trapping organization state. It's probably one of the strongest in the country. But and I remember going to Pennsylvania conventions back in the 80s, well 70s. I remember going to I think it was in Clearfield, Pennsylvania.
That's where it's this year.
Yeah. And in 76, it's a senior in high school, and I left school early on a Friday because class was still in and that was in May when they had the convention that year. Of course, that's been years ago. I think now it's in June or whatever. But drove out there for the convention. I believe it was in Clearfield. Then the National Trappers Convention was in Clearfield. Either that year or the following year, or prior to that. I don't remember exactly how that fell, but anyways. But,
You were skipping school to go to trapping conventions?
I did. And I normally skip opening. And I skipped opening day of trapping season as well.
When I was in school, they shut school down the first 2 days of deer season because anybody over 12 years old was not going to be there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just the way everybody hunted.
Yeah, and that's still a tradition in Pennsylvania.
Oh, sure is.
It's the Monday after Thanksgiving,
yep,
right?
It's always
And that's a big deal.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah, because I mean the biggest thing is all trappers hunt, but not all hunters trap.
correct.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's the thing. That's why we're still divided, unfortunately, the way we think and stuff like that. But you know, one of these days we'll all get along and.
Hey, we're all in this together. We got
That's
more.
just it. You know, the antis get stronger and stronger. And I mean, the more you can't get along with each other, you know, the bird hunters versus, you know, the dog guys and, you know, the trappers and stuff like that. You know, we all got to get along.
Yeah, and what they don't realize, we're the first line of defense, essentially. I mean, we get trappers, and bear hunters get picked on the most for sure. And then, you know, if we can keep them off at our point. Or on our level, basically it keeps a lot of the pressure off of the deer hunters and the bigger number guys. But if we're out of the picture, they're on them. You know, they're the next ones. So
Right.
But so you had this bear guiding service. So how long have you been doing that?
This will be my 4th year.
Oh, okay. So
I started as a client.
Okay.
Now I'm the owner. You know, it's just it's a fun thing. You know, it's. Last week of July, I start baiting.
Okay.
And the last week of August, first hunters come in.
Okay.
And it's a 4-week, and it goes into the 3 weeks of September.
Okay. And then then the season's
Well,
over.
no, then you can still trap. You can still trap them. It's the only state left in the union you can still trap bears.
Right.
And You can still trap and hunt with dogs to the end of October.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So if I have clients, I'll stay. If not, I trap my own bear and then head home.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you do the bear trapping as well for clients?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's what I'm trying to push now. Just
Okay.
because I mean, really,
yeah.
if you want to see the biggest catch circle in the U.S., I mean that's the one. Yeah, you get a 300 or 400 pound bear hooked up on a cable, he tears the place up.
So now, are you staking those solid then, or are you putting them on?
Yeah,
the
I
drag?
have. The duck bill. I have a big duck bill that I use on some areas.
Okay.
Is they have some laws that you can't have any entanglement.
Okay.
So or I'll just take a cable to a big tree.
Okay.
You know.
Am I correct in saying you're only allowed to set one trap per
Correct.
trapper?
Yes. Yep.
So you're really
But-
trying to find that. Perfect
Well,
location.
that's where game cameras come in, and you know I've been in the woods now for a month prior, so you can see the trails coming in, and you know there's multiple trails coming into the bait site, so
Yeah.
it's easy enough to figure out, you know, if it's not, make sure it's not a sound with cubs, you know, and you're after a big boar.
So if you do catch a sow with cubs, then what?
Cut it loose.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
can you get them turned loose, or do you have to call the state? Or
you need a few people.
yeah,
It's not
that's
fun.
got to be a real
it's
rodeo.
not fun.
Yeah.
Not fun at all. Up to 100 pounds is manageable. After that, you get a little cranky.
So you
But there's no damage.
Do you
no foot
tranquil-
damage whatsoever.
Yeah, that's a big.
No, I
that's
don't.
Big,
I don't
I mean, does the
tranquilize
state come in and tranquilize them then, or
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd have to call a game warden
Okay. Okay.
to get a bigger one if they would want to harvest it.
Yeah.
Because a small cub would not make it through the winter.
Right. Right.
So killing her, you just killed the other two.
Right.
You know.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. I mean, that's just good management.
Mhm,
I mean,
sure.
You know, so,
I say we go up there and do it, Charlie.
I know it. We'll have to get with Bryan and
Yes.
go do that.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's Portage Lake, Maine.
Okay. So can you do some fishing as well that time
You
of
can.
year?
It's right on the lake.
Okay. Okay.
Yep,
Is
it's
that what
right on
guys
the
do?
lake.
Because normally,
Yep, it depends on what time of year. I have guys come in and October, whatever. Goose season's open, so
Okay.
there's lots of geese on the lake,
okay.
ducks, grouse, or partridge. I'm sorry, or
Okay.
partridge up there.
Is that what they call
That's
them?
what they call them, partridge.
Really? So what type of grouse do you have then?
It's a rough grouse.
Okay.
It's the same what we have down here, but they call them partridge up north.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. So do you have any type of what kind of ducks do you have? Do you have any of the coastal,
Oh, they have all
coastal
kinds.
ducks?
Yeah, it's not a major flyway.
Okay.
So you have a bunch of different teal. Wood ducks early because it gets pretty brutal up there.
Okay. Okay.
They get a lot of snow. I've been up there in October and there's ice on the
Okay.
forming.
So
already.
that would be pushing the wood ducks down for sure, and the teal probably too.
Yep.
The
But you got buffleheads. There's all.
okay. Okay. The bears, and so what time typically do they lay up or hibernate for the evening?
Actually, they were so much natural food this past year. They were out during the deer season.
which
in
is
December.
Oh, it's so really late.
It was late, and it's been a milder
Okay.
up there. The prior year they had 140 inches of snow, and they're not even near that this year.
Interesting. Huh. Now, do you have moose in your area then too?
We do.
Okay. Do you
We
hunt
do.
those as well, or?
I have, I do offer moose hunts, but it's a lottery.
Okay.
So I mean, if you get one or two clients,
Do you want to mention your future plans on the offering trapping trips?
What's that? Oh, the Martin and Fisher trap.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a really good Martin and Fisher population too. It's in high impact beaver trapping.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, if anybody's seen my video with that tailgate picture, that was 26 beaver. That was one check. So I mean, if you want to put a lot of traps out, you can put some numbers up.
Yeah.
In a week.
That's a lot of work right
Yeah.
there.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah.
Do those well, of course, the beaver market's is based on the hatter market right now, which doesn't pay a whole lot. But do those
No.
beavers bring pretty decent money?
They
generally speaking?
did.
Yeah.
They did. It's a down market now, but I still do it just to keep my in,
Yeah.
because I know the market's not going to ever stay that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it does come back, then I'll be ready to go.
I'm assuming that's a shearable beaver too, correct?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh yeah. No, they got beautiful. I mean, I just seen some the other day that somebody got an 85-pound beaver, but I've never got one that big.
No, I haven't
60 and 65 is probably the biggest ones I've gotten.
I normally say that the guy that catches the 55 or 60 or 62 or 65-pound beaver, that's the guy that didn't really put it on the scale that says it weighs 90 pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like the 70
Yeah.
or 80-pound coyote. It's like probably weighed.
That's a big coyote.
Probably weighed 45 pounds.
You're right.
If that, I mean, the biggest one I've ever caught is 44, which is a huge coyote. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, most of my coyote trap, I do live markets, so I just put them in a box and
when you're down south,
and sell them. Yeah.
So on your Fisher and Martin, how's that work as far as how many per person or tag or?
Well, you get it. You get the tags with your fur license.
Okay.
So you have to call Augusta, which is the capital. They send you the form. You send them the money. They send you your trapping license. So that's something you can't do on the ride up. You have to do that prior
in advance. Okay.
because the trapping license, has to come from Augusta and back. I think you get 24 Martin and 10 Fisher tags with your license.
Okay. So quite a few.
you're
That's
set.
fair.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's fairly good.
I mean, a good week up there, you can get what do we get? 16 Martin and 6 Fisher
In a week.
in a week.
Oh, that's impressive.
But you got to put a lot of traps out.
Yeah.
And that was before they have the exclusion devices, which they have the cages now that you can't just put a body gripper in the tree. You have to have the body gripper has to be back 18 inches. So we were using mailboxes, the
Okay.
plastic mailbox.
Right.
Yep.
And we'd just put notches in the side and set the 120 or 155 in the front
Okay.
with the chunk of beaver in the back.
Okay.
And using a long distance call in a tree near.
But skunk.
Yeah,
Permanently like
basically.
skunk. Yeah. Yeah.
And basically what I use is Vaseline and skunk,
Yeah.
mix.
Yeah.
You can. So now they have the exclusion device. You can't have anything bigger than a 4-inch diameter hole. And the trap has to be 18 inches back. So basically what we did is we just took 18 inches of wire, made a square cage, and tied them to the front of them.
Oh, I see.
So now
Okay.
we still use the thing. The trap's still back where it was, but he has 18 inches of cage to go through
Gotcha.
to catch him. So
Has that been has that affected your catch or not really?
a lot.
It,
Not so much the martin, but the male fisher.
they're not too keen on going in there.
There's I got a lot of pictures in cameras that they
Just
lot of
refuse.
refusals.
Okay.
They're sort of like a canine, like the red fox and the coyote. They don't back up.
They don't like
They
to
don't
be
like.
caged.
They won't turn. If they can't turn around, they're not going to go in.
Gotcha. So what are they trying to protect by that?
The lynx.
On that? I mean, on
The
that
lynx.
small of a trap?
It's the lynx. Well, they killed. They harvested two lynx the year before, in traps like that. So it can be done, I guess.
And that's enough to make
And
it.
it's a shame because there's northern and south Maine are treated the same, and there's no lynx in southern Maine, but northern Maine there's a lot of them.
Okay.
And I'm only 40 miles south of New Brunswick, Canada, and across the river, you can harvest every one you see.
There's no
No limit.
Yeah, no quota.
So what's stopping them from?
Right.
They don't have zip codes on them,
right?
so they don't know. And what's stopping them from crossing that river and coming in? And we cannot put a canine trap out without catching one.
Really. So and I'm
in
assuming-
some areas,
Right, right.
So we know now what areas not to trap canines because you just don't want the hassle.
right. If you do catch one, then
Well, now your
you gotta
day's
call the
your day's
state.
done.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to call the state. You have to wait till an officer gets there. And if it better be a legal set,
Yeah.
or you're going
yeah.
to get pinched.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. And I'm assuming that river freezes in the winter.
Oh yeah,
So
sure,
they just walk
sure.
across
Oh,
like it's
yeah. That's
No big deal.
They're just standing over there laughing at us.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And the Canadians too just laugh at us.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
because they probably go back and forth.
Right,
you know?
right. And of course the antis have used that lynx card or however you want
Yeah.
to say it, trying to shut down legitimate legal trapping because of protection of the lynx, I believe, in your state. That's been or in Maine. That's been an issue.
Yeah.
Constant battle. I think it seems like
It's
it pops up.
and you have like I said, the more votes come from southern Maine.
Sure. Sure.
Portland area, and there's nothing you can do. Like I said, it's unfortunate they treat the whole state the same way.
Right. I mean,
Because it isn't the same.
Right. Now,
Once you get once you get towards Bangor, and north of that, it's a total different country. It's like Alaska.
Yeah. We've seen that in so many other states too, where basically 2 or 3 large urban areas want to basically make the policy for the rest of the state, and there's such a 180-degree difference in lifestyle and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't, and that'll always be that way. We won't get above that. That's not just going to go away. So obviously trying to educate them is an uphill battle, I think, in a lot of cases, but
we just got to stick together.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, just like you were saying.
We're all sportsmen, one way or another.
Right. Right. So how long you been doing the Fur Life?
Fur Life TV, this is season 4.
Okay.
Actually, I've been filming for TV since 2008, but then my shows, this will be season 4.
Okay.
Starting.
So basically, if you just type in Fur Life on YouTube.
I do have a YouTube channel, and also you can go to gen7outdoors.com.
Okay.
And it's a Vimeo account.
Okay.
You can subscribe and watch all the episodes.
Okay.
So you don't have to wait till Tuesday night at 8. And that's what's nice about the live streams. You can just go anytime you want.
Whenever, yeah.
Right.
And then I think everything's going towards that.
I think so.
Just TV itself is so expensive. I'm not remortgaging the house to.
I think people don't realize is like if you get on the Pursuit channel or you get on Sportsman channel or whatever, the unless you have one of unless you're the bone collector, for instance, or whatever, you got to pay to be on there.
Oh no, you do,
Yeah.
you do, and then you have to have sponsors to pay you.
Right.
In return, and there's a lot of people that's made it, and a lot of people that haven't made it.
Right.
It's I think for a full year on the outdoor channel is $500,000.
Yeah.
So that's some crazy money.
You're right, and especially when you factor in the trapping industry,
Yeah.
I mean, that's just
If we could only spend as much money if trappers spend as much money as hunters,
yeah,
we'd be in.
yeah, yeah,
It's just a different market.
yeah. It's. I mean, we don't have the numbers, and it's just a different, it's just different perspective. But yeah, I think people think that, you're on whatever channel that you must really be doing well, and that channel's paying you big money, and it didn't work that way. It's not like that at all. So.
Oh, it's just like it's the same thing as you having your own business.
Yeah.
You think all of a sudden you're well off and you can do anything you want, which is so far from the truth.
Oh my gosh! Well, a lot of that's I'm going to work 80 to avoid working 40.
And and us doing shows and stuff like that, we have to I juggle stuff around just to be able to do the shows.
Right.
And you pray you have a good show.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for you, we live for this show. We live locally. I live an hour south of here, so we're just driving up every day. But you're from Pennsylvania. You're here. You got to stay in a
9 hours.
Hotel. Eating out, which you got to eat at home, but still it costs more to eat out than
sure does.
And then you're away from whatever other stuff you could be doing.
Yeah.
So and then look, of course we both do the National Trappers convention, and you usually do the Fur Takers convention too, or
Yep.
yeah. So
Yep.
that stuff is fun to do, enjoyable, love the crowd, seeing everybody, but they're expensive to do.
They are. Well, all shows are.
Yeah.
I mean, at 2 years back, I did 22 outdoor shows.
Oh my gosh.
Woo. And it's you get burnt out.
Yeah.
And then if you have 2 back to back that didn't pay so well,
Right.
it hurts.
Right.
It's just you never know.
Right. And I'm
All
assuming
shows are different,
I'm assuming that
And everybody, and the unfortunate thing about it is everybody wants their money up front for the booth.
Oh yeah.
So
definitely.
now you got a ton of money out
Right.
to just the schedule for the next year. You know, and some shows land on the same weekend, so you can't do all of them.
Right. Yeah, like this show, a 4-day show here for this Deer Expo, 10-foot booth, $650. So I mean, that's not cheap.
No, and then you put a corner booth to that, it's another $50. I think.
Yeah. So, I remember the days when things in the 70s and early 80s when you did not have to pay for a booth at the National Trappers Convention or Fur Takers of America Convention. They were free. And I understand why they charge. I mean, I get it. Fairgrounds are expensive, and But I remember the day when booths were free. You just showed up, and it's like, you can have this area right here. Of course, they didn't provide much. A lot of times, you had to bring your own tables or whatever. Yeah. But those days are going forever.
But getting back to the trapping conventions, luckily they're not as expensive.
No, they're not near as bad.
And even North Carolina, they don't charge us at all.
Oh yeah.
They're still free.
Yeah.
And that's a great show.
Yeah. So what?
And even the Fur Takers is minimal.
Yeah, it's not
150 or something like that.
And it's relative to how many people are going to put in front of the booth.
Sure.
The bigger the show, the more they cost.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I just came back. I just got back from the Harrisburg show in Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 9-day show, Saturday to Sunday.
Yeah.
And but you have 500,000 people in front of you.
Right. And that's for your bear camp promotion primarily.
That and archery equipment, stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you have a shop?
I do.
Okay.
Which has been me being on the road the past couple of years. I've shut it down for a bit.
Okay.
But it's just tough to do everything.
It is.
And yourself, it's employees and stuff like that. It could be tough to find good ones too.
Right.
He's still trying to find a good one.
I got to say right now, I'm pretty fortunate. Justin's been with me for several years, and then Andrea, my daughter, his wife, was with me, and then I've got a couple others that are really good. So I'm right now. I'm very fortunate.
Yeah.
But I've been through some that you just want to take a hammer to their head. So.
Oh yeah.
Not literally, but
Yeah. No, me being a general contractor for by trade. Just it seems like the time you need them the most, that's when they don't show.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. In fact, earlier this morning we were talking about with the guy before you got here is the one guy does tile work. So it's a fairly skilled trade. And then we were talking about doing taxidermy because we're taxidermists. And just to find people that come in, I mean, they're not just walking around out there. Those people are hard to find, particularly when you got something that's takes some time to learn, several years. So it's hard to find good employees that are trained that have the ability and people come. And you probably run into this. People come in and they say, "Man, I love what you do. I'd love to be able to do what you do. You're so fortunate," and we are. And I still like to go to work, but they don't realize a lot of times when we're particularly when we're super busy, we're not able to be out having fun like they are. You know what I mean? We're setting them up. So,
the best time to be out in the woods is the busiest.
I'm drywall until midnight.
Yeah.
To take off because I got a 4-day show coming.
Yeah.
It's like I love it, but. It's like we still work.
Yeah.
You still got to work.
Yeah.
I haven't found out how to do it yet without working.
Yeah, it's always a different feel coming to these type of shows. It's more of a deer and turkey expo, like it says, waterfowl. But then we have a few, there's 2 trapping booths in here?
We got your state.
Our state?
Indiana State, Fur Takers, and then...
Fur Takers.
Yeah.
And
then, of course, our store.
Yeah, and then us, which we're promoting... primarily that, so yeah.
It's definitely a different crowd and a lot of questions about trapping and fur. It's always, what's the fur prices this year? Should we even be out there doing this?
I wish they would quit bringing that up.
I know it. It's like,
And the one that kind of gets under my skin is where the guy that comes up, he says, I just love to trap, but I haven't done it since the fur prices fell. It's like, well, then you really,
Then you don't love it.
Yeah.
Because, I've never quit.
Yeah. I mean, in fact, when in 2013 when prices got really high, it was great for business. We sold a ton of product, but to go out and trap was a headache. I mean, to get when you guys were coming in on you and trespassing, and so there's a downside to it. Something better than where we are right now, but not quite as high as 2013 is kind of where I like to see it. But
Right.
There was just a post on Facebook yesterday. I think it was Iowa or something like that. It was 79. The prices, they showed the fur prices.
Yeah.
And they were $8 to $12 for a muskrat. It was $30 for a beaver. $85 for a red fox.
Yeah.
We'd love to see them days again.
Oh my gosh.
Especially those numbers in late 70s.
Yeah, factor in the
Yeah.
value of money and what a tank of gas.
I mean,
cost back
that's
then.
why the old timers were tight-lipped, because they could make their living trapping.
Yeah.
They'd make their year's wage that fall and winter.
Yeah. So who did you look? Your uncle got you kind of interested in trapping. Who else did you look up to in the trapping world back?
Actually, not too awful much, because we were being in a rural area. There, we didn't have many. We had 3, 6, and 10 on the TV.
Yeah.
It was way before cable.
Yeah.
So I guess the guy I looked up to first would be Tom Miranda.
Okay.
Back when he started the Fur Fish Game Series.
Sure.
And got to know him and see him at the shows here
Lately,
and stuff like that. Got to know him. What a great guy, and he actually paved some of the paths we use now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
That rod set. I mean, that's where I learned it from.
Yeah.
For beaver and water. Any water.
Yeah. He has taught more people to trap than anybody else, and I just actually read that he sold over 400,000 of those videos, which I can't. I mean that.
I have 3 videos out, and I actually had a conversation with him. It's just, I was 20 years too late.
Yeah.
Because they don't sell what they used to.
No. I mean, just in the time that we started putting videos out, which I don't remember what year that was. 12 years ago. I mean, the video sales. Of course, we're putting it all out there for free on YouTube now.
Yeah, I think.
We've kind of shot ourselves in the foot, but
everyone's going to YouTube now, so
Yeah.
they're going to check.
That's why I just put
before
little
they buy it.
teasers. I just put little teasers on a YouTube channel, not the full episode.
yeah.
Know.
Buy the video for the full line of information. So,
But back then, the VHS, that's them tapes that came out, and
they were huge.
yeah, I think his very first one made him $100,000, and that's when he started buying his equipment and doing his own editing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is he's done very well. Actually, he's one of the top archers now. This time
He's killed the Super Slam or whatever twice or whatever. Yeah,
and he's got it all on video.
Yeah.
know?
He's got everything to back up what he says.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. O'Gorman actually was selling videos before Miranda, but O'Gorman, I mean, he was super expensive on them, and it was kind of that his niche market. But Miranda's the one that really came in, did the videos, did the promotion, hit the mainstream audience.
Yeah.
It was completely.
And it helps to have the good magazine behind you.
Yeah, exactly.
Fur Fish Game, he gave him a good boost.
Yeah. Fur Fishing Game sells my fur handling DVD, when I originally got our coyote DVD, I sent it to them, and they sent it back and said it's not even optional. Well, I mean, it's not even an option because we have the Miranda series, so we're not. They would not sell any video.
And it's conflict,
right?
Yep.
That would compete with what they have, and I don't blame them. I mean, that's just so. But they do sell our fur handling video, so. But they put a lot of money into those videos. Of course, that's more than paid for itself. Who knows how many times over? But.
Yeah. And to realize that, trappers do make the best hunters, because we're so keen on watching the animals, seeing what they're doing in the woods and stuff like that.
Right, right. Yeah, we're out there every day.
Yeah,
Right.
that's it.
Right. But in reverse, when we just did a podcast about this because of a deal that we were invited in Tennessee by a deer hunter, but that didn't have a trapping perspective. So we're trying to get through to him how this works. It's not like going and sitting in a tree stand. I mean, this is completely different. We need a lot of ground. We need to cover a lot of ground. And you were talking about having a lot of traps to catch this. To catch a lot of fur, you have to look at a lot of empty traps.
Oh yeah,
it's just the way it is. That sounds backwards, but that's the nature of being a successful trapper.
That's why I love beaver trapping, because very rarely do you have to check empty traps. Unless they're not there, or you harvested them all.
Yeah. So talk about beaver trapping. So you got one straggler beaver left, or he's in a pond, and those can be pretty frustrating to catch.
Especially if he's been pinched.
Right. So what's your secret on those, or do you have one?
No, you just have to see what works.
Yeah.
As you can tell. And if I have a stubborn one like that, I will put a camera up just to see what he is doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you make a caster mount here, I might have to catch him in a body gripper down the lane.
Yeah. Have you sometimes pulling up and leaving him alone for 4, 5, 6 weeks and then go back in and hit him again? Have you tried that, or doesn't normally fall in that time frame?
Well, it depends where I'm at. Like if I can do that, if I'm just doing it at home and stuff like that. But if I'm up there and doing the ADC work, I want to get in and get out as fast as I can.
Right. So
if I go into a beaver flow, I'll stick 6, 8 traps in. I want to catch them in the next couple of days. As I got to get on and move to a different area.
Right. Hit them as hard as you possibly can and not leave any stragglers.
Yep.
Because that straggler beaver, that is on a situation where they're all supposed to be caught. That can really be frustrating to have that one out there laughing at you.
One beaver can do some damage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And also be a major pain to catch.
Like I said, especially if he's been educated, he could be old 3 toes. It's been pinched in a dirt hole.
Yeah,
you're never going to catch him in a dirt hole. You're going to have to try something different.
Right, snare or whatever. So yeah, exactly. So do you call yourself a water trapper, a land trapper, or just a trapper?
Just a trapper.
Yeah,
just a trapper. I love them all.
Yeah,
it doesn't. Like I said, being as I started to, if you catch your first bear in a trap, you're pretty. It's like going down to Florida and shooting an alligator with your bow.
Yeah.
It's in your blood for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
That
has got to be a super adrenaline rush.
It is.
Walk up on a bear in a trap.
It really is.
The only thing else I'm sorry that I did not do in time in Maine was back when you could still use a foot trap.
Yeah.
Get scared to use the
Yep. 2006 they did away with the foothold.
Yeah.
Yep, and then we went to the bear snare.
Right.
So which gives you, I think there's, I don't think there's any difference. Other than, you probably catch, it depends what you're using. If you're using the Wilson bear snare, you can set the pan tension, so you're not going to catch a small bear. Other ones, if you set the Aldridge or something like that in a trail, you're going to catch whatever steps in it.
Okay. So you can kind of control.
And then back with the big coil spring for bear, you set the pan tension. We set a tennis ball underneath the pan.
Okay.
Just for something to give. So
right.
And they were pretty rigid too. So at 80, 90-pound bear is not going to set it off.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's a good idea. Good deal. I just the nostalgia of catching a bear in a 4.5 new house or 5 new house or whatever, something like that would have been the cool thing to do. Were you able to do that?
No.
Okay.
No, that was before me going up there.
And I don't even know if that would have been considered a legal trap. I think it would have been. I'm not sure, but
I'm not sure.
On the
but well, Duke made it. Duke makes that bear trap. And there's a mess of them out there. There's a lot of homemade ones.
Right.
But 2006 they did away with that, so it's a snare only. And then we got a 2-inch deer stop on it. Mm-hmm. So if you catch something smaller, something like that, then
Did that one that, or do you, well, you may not know. Did that help with the anti-pressure on bear trapping? Then you think when they eliminated the foot trap?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It would have been. They would have done away with it completely.
So
we
this
didn't
was
have
a good
an alternative.
Yeah. I kind of wondered about that.
Yeah.
So, of course, bear hunters still get a lot of anti-pressure for sure. But
I mean, if you ever been to Maine, and if you ever been in the woods, I mean, if you didn't have a bait site, you probably never see a bear.
I'm sure.
Because there's some spots you can't see 15 feet in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And
it's
and that
jungle.
is just massive.
that's why they call it the bush.
Yeah.
Because it's
and that is a massive giant area. Geographically.
Oh yeah,
it's huge.
Oh, my lease is 64,000 acres, which is 100 square miles.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah,
That's a bunch. That's a bunch. Yeah.
You got to work hard to see it all.
I would think. So is there access roads through that?
There is.
Okay.
Yeah, they call them tote roads.
Okay.
Where they're because it's basically logging trails
Okay.
and landing areas where they log and putting in different areas. It's all private property.
Mm-hmm. So, kind of jumping around here, but how late in the season then do you typically trap? Are you still trapping now? I mean, will you go trap? Will you be trapping?
You can have a spring beaver if you have ice out. Goes till the end of April.
Okay.
So, if you have a good mild year like this year, I might be able to get back up there.
Okay. Now, can you trap otters then that late too, or are they?
Incidentals are allowed.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, they don't want you to trap for them.
I see.
But Maine is pretty. Maine's got some really good laws.
Okay.
And you got some other laws that are not so good, just like any other state.
Yeah.
But for the most part, they're good.
Indiana, we're a very trapper-friendly state here. We've remained that way. And when I look at laws in other states, when we go to them, generally, most states are pretty trapper-friendly. There's some states out there that are not, for sure. But Tennessee was never trapper-friendly, but they have been in the past few years. Particularly, I think, since John Daniels is from Tennessee, and he was able to push through a lot of the laws down there that they've got present day. Well, for one thing, they eliminated soft catch traps, so you don't have to use a soft catch trap. But
which if they'd realized that they actually did more foot damage.
I'll take a laminated or a cast jaw offset jaw trap any day over a soft catch. So
I'm sorry to, I'm not picking on the soft catch, but that rubber being on the jaw, you get a little sand or grit in that, it makes a blister.
Yeah.
It's just unfortunate. I don't agree with them anyway.
Yeah. Same here.
Yep.
And I actually, if it's legal, I don't even use an offset jaw.
Oh, is that right?
I like a regular jaw on the trap. Mm-hmm. Just less movement.
The foot won't move back and forth.
Does not move.
Yeah.
No. It wants to be laminated. To make it wider. Mm-hmm. But I don't. If I don't need to use an offset, I won't.
Okay. But and there's a point to that too.
And the center swivel, I'm not too. I don't know. I can go either way with the center swivel, but
so
you got strong jaws, it's not going to move.
Mm-hmm. So the dogless Wolf Creek is kind of your preference.
It is.
Okay.
Yep. I laminated the jaws for the live market, and I took the hole that's in the foot. Because you have to have center swiveled.
Okay.
I took the foot and I put the J hook through there.
Okay.
And that's centered.
Gotcha.
It's not center, but it's centered in the trap.
Right.
So they can. It's
They'll
legal.
consider that.
Yep.
Okay. And that's in what state then?
I was in South Carolina.
Okay.
In North Carolina.
Okay. Now you catch any cats in South Carolina?
Oh, I caught it. Yeah, I caught a dandy this year.
Okay.
All spotted up and everything.
Okay. Did you get into doing any of the bounty trapping down there?
No.
You're probably still doing better with your live market than the bounty.
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on where you're, what pens you're hooked up with, but you can make a pretty decent dollar.
Okay.
Pay for your gas anyway.
Yeah. How long do you typically stay down there?
I tried 2 weeks.
Okay.
Try to.
Yeah,
So when you get into mange, it makes you want to cry.
Yes.
Because you just took a, $75 coyote and made it zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody's gonna buy
And
it.
you're going down there for, a certain amount of time.
Right.
So.
Yeah, we're all up against that. I mean, when we take a trip, if we figure if we can get 8 to 10 check days, we feel like we've done pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, just with time constraints and doing these shows, it's like we always think about, well, we ought to be doing the ATA show and we ought to be doing this.
Yeah.
It's like, but that's just cutting into our trapping time.
Oh, you can't. Like I said, you can't do them all.
Yeah.
You cannot. You just got to pick out the ones you can to work with your schedule and try.
Yeah. Yeah. So, because quite frankly, I'd rather be trapping than sitting at a show.
Oh yeah.
And then this weekend's going to be beautiful too. It's going to be like in the 50s today and mostly sunny, and then we're sitting inside at a show. So but oh well.
My buddy there, Mark Schaefer from Ritter Critter.
Yeah.
He's down in South Carolina. That's who I trap with down there, and he just told me the other day it was 80 degrees.
Oh my goodness, that's too warm.
But it's that's just the way it's just fun trapping down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sandy soil.
Yeah. Now he was originally from Pennsylvania, right?
He was actually originally from Rockland County, New York.
Okay.
Rockland County, New York, and he moved down there about 6 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I've never met him face to face. I've talked to him on the phone a number of times. So, but
yeah, he's a licensed fur buyer in South Carolina now, and has Ritter Critter Inc. on there. He doesn't miss the snow at all. He said.
Yeah.
Does not miss the snow whatsoever.
Yeah, it would be. There are definitely some advantages. Although those winters down there got to be, or the summers got to be miserable, I would think.
Oh yeah,
heat wise.
Yeah, their electric bills are the opposite of ours. Because they got the air conditioning all summer, so their light bills are expensive, and winter they.
Yeah.
And ours are the opposite.
Yeah. Got anything, Justin? You've been quiet on this one. I guess we've been.
You know what? It's still morning.
We've been talking too much or what?
Yeah, I'm still trying to wake up.
Justin was watching boxing last night, so he was up late probably. So
I seen that. Looks like the one guy got his hand handed to him.
Yeah, he did. They actually threw the towel in the ring, so
Oh.
it was crazy. But yeah, as far as it's almost showtime, so we should probably wrap it up, unless there's any last minute concluders here.
Got any final thoughts?
No. Hey, if you ever want to think about trapping a bear or marten fish or beaver in a different state, you can give me a shout.
Yeah.
And
Definitely
hook you up. It was great seeing these guys again.
Yeah, same here. And be sure to check out Fur Life on YouTube and Vimeo, right?
Yes.
Fur Life
definitely,
TV.
Definitely.
Fur Life TV.
Fur Life TV, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, on gen7outdoors.com. Pretty user friendly too. You can just hit TV shows, scroll down till you get to Fur Life TV, click on it, and it'll show you all the episodes.
Cool.
Good.
Cool. So another educator.
Well, you know what? I have people show me some stuff. I never quit learning.
No,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I like going to different areas.
Yes.
Just to see the different things, the different products they use, the different everything.
Right. Yeah, that is one thing about this. It is a lifelong learning. Obviously you get to the point where you're fairly proficient, but there's always something to learn to make it even better, for sure. So, and once in a while you do like a 180 and say,
As animals are different, they do different things in different areas.
Yeah.
No matter what anybody wants to say.
Yeah.
Coyote's not a coyote everywhere.
So one last question. So what do you say to the guy who says, okay, the snow's on the ground and these tracks, they're walking right by and they're not even giving me a sniff. So what particularly on a coyote, they're ignoring my sets and what
That depends what you have. Do you have, is that a dirt hole that's covered over? This time of year, if up north we have snow on the ground, I go straight to the hay set.
Yeah.
Because I put a hay set, and it doesn't matter if it's on the edge of a field, in the middle of a field, fox or coyote's going to see that and go right to it.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I play to win, just like deer hunting or anything else. But I'll put a trap on both sides.
Of the
Just in case one gets blown in from snow, he can still get caught on the other side.
Right.
But it stands out like a sore thumb.
Right.
That.
And
not only that, you're not working about dirt. You don't have a sifter, nothing. You just have a chunk of hay with you, You put a little over. Actually, you come to my set, you can actually see the trap through the hay a lot of times.
And they don't know what that is.
They're not.
No.
They're in. You have down in that underneath that hay what they want. They're not going to monkey around.
Are you
with
using a whole bale or just
just
some hay?
just a little square.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Just a flake of hay. So
I've noticed over the years, you put too much backer, you'll get the coyote to not commit.
yeah, they'll shy away from it. Yeah. Yeah.
They
Exactly.
they don't like showy stuff.
Right. Right. But that's kind of the idea of guys taking just a small pumpkin, putting it out in the field, and all of a sudden you got this curiosity of what's that thing doing out here? Because there's nothing else up there around there. Just that might be a little. People do that kind of thing, and it'll throw a wrinkle in, and,
Oh, yeah.
and coyotes will check it out.
Unfortunate thing, you got to catch that deer first, because they love pumpkins.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They'll be stomping on your set, which is sometimes it can be super annoying because it's like trapping in a cow pasture. I mean, once the cows find your set, then you're done. So they'll be stomping on everything.
Well, that's how some of these lure makers stumble across these deer lures from trapping canines or whatever, and having a lot of deer tracks in there. And there's something in that lure that the deer attracts the deer.
For sure.
Could be the salts in the urine. Could be other different.
Tonquin or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
any number of things. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So. You got anything you want to say?
Oh, I think we better get to the show. It's quarter of.
We probably better get
We
to
got
work.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it was good seeing you, and nice talking with
Hey,
you.
same here. Enjoyed it.
Thank you for
Appreciate
being
it.
on.
Yeah.
Everyone, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, check out Fur Life TV, like we were talking about, and share the podcast, if you will, the Trap House Podcast. Share it everywhere you can, and just spread the knowledge here. So we'll catch you on the next one.